Okay, so this is Debbie Davis. It is the 14th, January 14th, 2024. Okay, I just wanted to explain that last video. I have to, when I make these phone calls to Navy Federal Credit Union, I honestly don't believe I'm actually talking to a fraud person. I believe that I'm talking to a CIA agent. What they have done to me for years is transfer my phone calls. They somehow with a Stingray device can transfer my phone calls to a CIA person instead of the real customer service. And so I've had these issues with Navy Federal Credit Union where I don't believe I'm talking to the real Navy Federal Credit Union. Okay, and then that when she was trying to pull up, I mean, I literally just had a conversation like 3 weeks ago with, I think I was talking to a real Navy Federal person, and she said that she was gonna look into the situation, and then nobody ever got back to me. I never heard anything. I never got anything in my inbox or anything from Navy Federal. I mean, it's just like they keep playing games. But I mean, that hotel dispute. Okay, I think I understand what happened there, but the originally they tried to deny this hotel deposit, and that's why. And then I was on the phone with some guy. I don't believe he was even a real Navy Federal customer service. I think they keep hacking my phone and transferring my phone to these people pretending to be federal, the fraud department or customer service. This is what I've had to happen for years. I know this sounds crazy, but they are using a Stingray device, and they somehow can transfer my calls. Okay, and so I still have one dispute that I never got refunded, and it was when I was last year when I had made a couple $5 and $10 donations to the Trump administration. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got $100 taken out illegally, and I just was trying to dispute that. It's just like, what is there that you need from me? It's not an authorized donation. It's not a bill. I didn't owe this money to anybody. That should just be an automatic, like, okay, no brainer. Why should I even have to fight with you or make this phone call? I've already disputed it. I disputed it, and then they said, and they didn't give the money back. And it's just like, I'm the one who made the donation, and I didn't. And then I completely canceled after that, and I never made another donation because I couldn't afford it. And I said I couldn't afford the $100 one, and that wasn't authorized. And then I completely canceled my WinRed account after that, and they are trying to not refund me that money. That was back in May. I've already talked to them about this once. So then I just tried calling the WinRed customer service, and it wouldn't let me talk to a live person. And then it's trying to say it couldn't find information about my donations. Okay, so this whole thing is just totally bizarre. I made phone calls to WinRed just now, which is supposed to be the company directly, that associated with the donation. How they were sending out information for donations. Yeah, I got an unauthorized charge in May that I've been trying to dispute, and then I canceled and I never had any kind of recurring. I don't even know where this $100 came out, and I've been trying to dispute this with the bank. It's just like, this should just be a no-brainer. It's like, I'm telling you, it was an unauthorized charge, and it's not a bill. It's a donation, so I don't know why there should be any problem with it. But this is, and I don't even think it was the Trump administration. I think it's the CIA that hacked. I believe the CIA is hacking into that WinRed account, and I believe I got totally upset after that happened. And then I've heard other people that are like Trump supporters that got unauthorized amounts taken out from that account, and I completely canceled. I never used anything regarding that account again. I wasn't sure what was going on there, if somebody had hacked. I believe somebody was hacking into that WinRed account that was acting like the Trump donation center, and I told some people, I said, I think somebody's hacking it. I think they're trying to get information about the Trump supporters, and I completely never gave any money after that because somebody illegally took $100 out instead of, like I every once in a while I'd give like 5 or 10, and then I'd write a little note with it or whatever, how they were doing that thing or whatever. And but after that I never gave. And then the way they acted about it's just like, okay, somebody. And then I've heard from other people that they got some unauthorized amounts taken out of that WinRed. Okay, so that is why I completely stopped after that, and I don't know what happened there, but I think they were trying to hack. I think somebody had hacked into that WinRed is what I think happened there. And I don't know if anybody else had that happen, but it was the donation thing that they were sending out. I don't believe it was anything to do with Trump. I think that they got hacked and were unauthorized, like, taking some stuff out illegally and acting as, and then probably hacking in to see the Trump supporters, who the Trump supporters in. So I personally believe it was the CIA that hacked into that, because I did not authorize the $100 taken out. So I'm just trying to get that addressed. It was an unauthorized donation taken out illegally. I did not authorize that. That was in May. So I've just been trying to dispute this with the bank, and they were trying to fight with me. But I don't even know half the time if I'm talking to a real customer service, because this has happened now for several years where my calls get rerouted, and I know that I'm not talking to a real customer service. Somehow somebody is rerouting my calls. So anyway, but then I the other thing I just, yeah, of course it sounds crazy. I know that. But, if you had this happen to you and you had that, a bunch of money, some money illegally taken out, you'd be trying to dispute it too, So I'm just I don't know if anybody else had this happen with that WinRed company, but that's what I had happen, and I never gave anything after that because I just didn't trust it after that. I personally believe that company was hacked. They probably got all the Trump supporters' information. I believe it was the CIA. But I wanted to also just talk quickly about this EEOC office here in Minnesota. I had filed because I got illegally fired, as you know. I've talked about this from this company. So I had been waiting for an intake interview that I was supposed to have in December. Okay, and I don't know why they tried to push it out as far as they possibly could in Minnesota. They did not want me and a couple other people going in for this intake interview because they know we have a case, apparently, so they denied. So I was supposed to go in December 22nd. And then they denied my they canceled my receipt. They canceled my December 27th interview. So they canceled my interview on December 27th, and then they sent so I never got to go in for an intake interview. And then they just sent me this the other day. So they never did any intake or any information on me at all. And then I get this, that they've made a decision, even without my intake interview or anything. I get this on Saturday. This is how corrupt, because I believe, this is why I will never trust Tim Walz, any of the Democrats here. I never even went in for an intake interview. And on top of it, the law says you only have 300 days. So and just like a few weeks after December 20th, whatever, would have been past the 300 days. So this office is intentionally trying to push it past 300 days, so it'll be past the time frame when people are allowed to actually file their discrimination complaint. So they tried to push it out. The one other guy said his intake interview was scheduled for January. And I said, that's going to be past your 300 days. So I talked to the one girl there that I know, and she said that his is scheduled for January. Okay, this was another person that was trying to file a complaint against that same company, and I said, well, I just got this. So this is what I got from EEOC. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we are unable to keep your scheduled appointment for your intake interview. And you must file a signed charge within 300 days. Okay. All right. So this is the email that I got. They canceled my intake interview illegally for no reason. And then we only have like 300 days. Well, they're purposely trying to make it. And then I text this other girl that works there, and I said, well, January would be past all of our 300 days. And she said, well, his isn't scheduled until January. And so I said, well, you probably need to let him know that that they're not allowing us to go in for these interviews. They're trying to cancel it on us. And then if we go any further, it's going to be past the 300 days. And she said, so she's going to have to let him know. And then, so I didn't even get to go in there. The state denied me my right to an intake interview where I could actually give them information about what happened. So they have no information at all about what happened because I wasn't allowed to go into my intake interview. And then apparently on Saturday I get this email where they just made a decision without even hearing my story. Okay. Oh, really? How does that work? Tim Walls, how does that work? You and your Democrat buddy, you just get together and decide without hearing anybody else because you think you own the state. We have made a decision regarding your intake. Oh, how did you do that when you didn't even hear my story? Okay, so I'm 100% exposing the Minnesota EEOC office in Minnesota. 100% corrupt. Don't even bother. It's just one of these offices that just needs to be, replaced management or, they have to funding removed or something. They are 100% corrupt. Don't even bother. Okay? They denied my intake interview, and then they made a decision without me. It's like how the courts operate here. They deny you your court date, and they just make a decision without you even being there. That's what happened in Hennepin County. So they think they are 100% above the law. So the EEOC office is denying people's claims for their work discrimination claims. And so is the Department of Labor. They're denying, and they're not assigning an actual case worker. That's why I exposed them. So they're 100% allowing people in Minnesota to be 100% discriminated against, veterans, whoever. 100% discrimination is happening in the state of Minnesota because of our leadership here. I mean, every state office is totally corrupt. I mean, there isn't one that I don't know of one that isn't. I mean, that's how bad it is here. So I just wanted people to know what happened there. I was not allowed to go to my intake interview for this discrimination complaint, and then they apparently made a decision without even hearing anything. So I mean, this doesn't make the company look good. And then the one guy wasn't even allowed to give the other guy that got let go wasn't allowed to go to his intake interview because now it's past the 300 days. Yeah, so that's how they're operating in Minnesota now. That's how these people in charge of our state are running this state. They 100% are allowing us to be discriminated against. So, this everything is so corrupt here that I don't know how it could be any worse, really. And this state never used to be this way. It used to be a very fair state. We used to have good leadership here, and it's so far gone right now. So I just wanted people to know that.